Next up for open forum. Have we received any requests?
No, we have not.
I didn't realize I had to fill out a paper. Can I ask a couple questions? Or can I make a couple of... I mean, I'll fill it out now if I have to.
In the future, you know, we appreciate it
Sure.
ahead of time, but...
Yeah, I mean, I'll fill it. I'll just
Yep.
put my name on it or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, I do have to have that filled out.
First, right now, or
It just has to be turned in, so I have it
All right.
for the minutes.
Yep.
I'll put it in a minute. All right, I got a couple of things. Number 152 says here you're going to discuss records which are required or authorized to be confidential from the. It's not clear here what the connection is, but that's for the superintendent. Then I take it.
Yeah, the superintendent's packet.
Okay. Okay, so how'd that get on the agenda then? For what reason? I guess.
We have a sharing agreement with the high school or the district in Clear Lake, and it's on a year-to-year,
Okay.
and it's time to renew that.
Okay. Well, the reason I asked is in quotes it says review or discuss records which are required or authorized to be kept confidential. Is that about like personal information, like emails and stuff that the superintendent has, or is that just the contract itself?
No, it's the contract itself.
Okay. All right. I'll answer my question then. When do we find out like what the new compensation is going to be then?
When the boards agree on what that new contract is going to be. So
Okay.
this board discusses it in closed session, Clear Lake discusses it, then we have a joint meeting, and if we're in agreement, then we come forward with that contract.
Okay. When is that released to the public then?
Be the next action item, so it'll be the July meeting.
Okay. Second point, what's the best way to get answers to questions about what the school is doing? Because I've asked quite a few questions to the superintendent and I've gotten no answers, so.
He asked me a question, I'll just answer this one if you don't mind, President Becker. You asked me about what was happening at the high school with the new
Right.
entrance. And
Right.
actually, I apologize for that because it's very busy at the time that you asked for that. It's part of our Phase 5 project.
Okay.
And we have partnered with the DOT in this process, and so it came up quicker than what we thought. And so we've been able to, and Dean Snyder's been working with us on that, so it actually came up faster. It's going to be a brand new entrance. It will match the DOT's design, and so it saved the board quite a bit of money as well. So I apologize for not getting it to you, Matt, but
Okay.
that's just, you know, it's busy time. And I think
Okay.
that's the only question that I hadn't necessarily responded to.
No, I had asked you a question about a remark one of your coaches had made to a reporter of mine.
That's correct, and I wouldn't discuss that here because
Okay.
that would be an employee issue, and I would call you.
Right.
I had to do some background information
Okay.
about that as well.
Because we went back and forth with that for a couple of weeks and I didn't get any answers, so,
Because
you know.
it takes a while to get things done.
On the driveway, it took a couple of weeks to find out what that was then, or?
No, I just didn't have time, you know.
Okay.
You know, I know what's an emergency for you or a crisis.
No, it's not an emergency for me. I just
But
thought
it
I could
wasn't
get an
because I'm
answer
ignoring
because...
you, it's just because I didn't have the time to get to you when there were other things that were more pressing.
Yeah, and I understand you're a busy person, Anita, and that's fine. Couple other things here then. There's nothing here with the agenda, so what's the reason for the lunch fee increases then?
That'll come up in the
That'll come up later, okay. And then, will it also come up in the discussion about the student fee, what those would be? Okay. And then just, what I was listening to the skills assessment thing, what's the cost of that then?
I'm not sure what the fee schedule is for that.
I'd have to look that up and I could get back to
Okay.
you on that.
Because someone mentioned that there was a considerable price increase.
Well, it used to be supported, it was free.
It was
It went from
free.
free
No.
to a cost because it
Okay.
used to be paid for by a federal grant.
Okay.
And now it's by building.
And now it's by building.
So each,
and-
If I'm a
Building
building
pays?
and I'm gonna participate in it, then I pay the fee for it. If I'm a building and I don't participate, I don't pay the fee.
okay. Because, all right.
Well, you know, there are many things we do that have individual costs, but the benefit, it's a cost-benefit analysis.
Mhm.
So, again, like how would I find out like what the new cost for that was going to be then?
Ramona just said she would look it up and get back to you.
I said I'd get back to too on that.
Okay, do you need my email then, or like, I don't think I've ever went back and forth with you, so
Why don't you just put it on your paper that
I'll
you're
put it on my
gonna
paper.
use?
Right, like, I guess the underlying theme there is that I just find it difficult to get answers to my questions when I communicate with the Mesa City School District, and I just, you know, there's not much here with the agenda. I've reached out to the superintendent and others, and I don't get timely answers or any answers at all. So I just find that to be strange and not a good situation. So, and then with the, you know, with the skills assessment thing too, just my personal opinion, I mean, it sounds like that's just, you know, more assessments for the students when they could be learning in class. You know, what's the point of that? I guess, you know, they could be having a classroom lesson versus taking another assessment. You know, maybe that's just more busy work for administrators.
Okay, well, thanks for
Look
your
busy.
opinions, and I think we've given them.
Could I respond to that? Had you in school, didn't I?
Yeah.
Had to understand what I was gonna teach you, right? Now, it may
Yeah.
not have been much, you know.
Oh, I learned a lot in your class,
But,
Scott.
what you gotta do is you use that kind of assessment to guide your instruction. What did I do here? What do I gotta come back with? And in the course of a classroom, you don't spend your whole period, 10, 15 minutes, you go over it, then you move on to the next thing. So a school day, it's kind of like plan your work your plan. So you don't spend all your time, and you know, it's not like taking the ITEDs or the ITBS. What you do, 15, 20 minutes, once in a while you'll have 35 or 40 minutes, but most people are going to operate on that basis. Then you move on to something else. We'll do it at the end of the period, or I personally like to do it at the end of the period. Some people like to do it at the beginning or cut it off. It just depends on that. And that's,
Okay.
so I don't think there's any more assessment. What it is, it's a lot more targeted.
Mm-hmm.
This is a lot better route to go.
Okay.
Okay?
Well, I'd take your word for it. 'Cause
Well,
you
I
know.
appreciate that. You can take
Yeah.
anybody's word for it, but you know, having been through that,
Yeah.
you know, that's how you do it. Okay?
All right, good enough for
Okay.
me. Thanks. I'll turn this in.
Thank you.
Mhm.